Welcome to Three Gorillas Podcast. It's a Friday show, people. I'm not that excited.
Me
Are you
neither.
excited? Yeah, it's good.
I'm never excited. Why you even ask me? It's a chore to talk into a microphone.
I feel like this might be a short episode, but that's okay. That's okay. We probably talked too long anyways.
I love short episodes.
Really? Of what?
Of anything. I like short media. I prefer things to be short.
When it comes to podcasts, I actually prefer the long episodes. It's better.
Podcast is probably the only exception. I like long podcasts, but everything else, movies should only be an hour and a half. You know,
that's stupid.
I hate shows that are an hour long.
Movies should be at least an hour and a half.
Yeah, and at most an hour and 45 minutes.
No. If it's under an hour and a half, it's a short movie. It's a short film.
Under an hour and a half. It's not a short film, but it's
between an hour and a half and 2.5 hours is a decent movie.
You know what's funny is that short movie and short film have like two different connotations. Because when you said short movie, I'm like, yeah, it's just a short movie. But when you said short film, it's like, no, it's not a short film.
It might as well be on YouTube. I'm serious. I don't like short movies.
I do.
Short films, whatever you want to call them. It has to be at least an hour and a half for you. If you have a movie that's under an hour and a half, you didn't have enough product to take out to the public.
Or maybe
your stuff wasn't good enough.
Or maybe it was just actually edited to the point where there's no fat on the movie and it doesn't need anything else. It's just a perfect length.
If it's under an hour and a half, it's only bone. There's no flesh. There's nothing good in there.
That's not true.
An hour and a half, you can pretty much say hello, goodbye, the end.
Danny, remember the flash fiction shit I told you about?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, baby shoes for sale, never worn. Yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah, that's horrifying. Why don't
and
you
that's
tell
6
people
words.
about that? What that means?
So, if anybody
tell them what that is. Oh, what's it called? Short fiction?
Flash fiction is a form of literature that's just short. So they have like novels, novellas, or like short novels, short stories are obviously short stories, and then they have flash fiction, which is just like super short stories, and they could be like, I think it's basically anything under 1,000 words, but there's like really, really short shit, which is
1,000 words is a lot of words.
No, it's not. 1,000 words is like 3 pages.
Yeah, I haven't read 3 pages since out of high school. Okay. And mind you, I did like 2 semesters of college.
Danny, that's your problem. That's not.
That's a big problem.
Yeah, but so one of the first, I think, to my knowledge, this is the first flash fiction piece, but I could be wrong. It's baby shoes for sale, never worn, and
think about it.
6 words, pretty powerful. I think people attribute it to Hemingway. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I could see him writing that.
Yeah, you told me that, what was it, yesterday?
Or like a few days ago. I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
And I was like, I don't get it. So he's trying to sell baby shoes?
Yeah, and I'm like, Danny.
So it's just a guy selling baby shoes. What's happening? I'm not going to tell you what it means. Hopefully you guys can figure it out faster than
No, and Danny said that, and then I'm like, Danny, baby shoes for sale, never worn.
Yeah, so the guy's selling shoes. He's a shoe salesman?
And then you got it.
And then finally I got it. I had to go over it like twice in my head.
Yeah.
I like, the more I think about that, the more I like that kind of flash fiction. Because first of all, I don't like to read. Mm-hmm. And second of all, I like the idea of just no characters, just like as little like extra stuff as possible. Just tell me the story. Give me something powerful in the least amount of words as possible.
So you agree with me then? So why do you want 3-hour-long movies?
In writing. All right? If you're going to make a movie, now, listen, I'm saying movie. I'm not saying a short film. I'm not saying, something that you should put in like some RC bullshit competition. I'm talking about a movie that you put in Hollywood. And listen, I'm paying $10 plus popcorn to watch a movie, and you're only gonna give me an hour and a half of product? Bullshit. Give me 2 hours. Am I wrong? Because if I'm gonna pay for it, which I never pay for it, I always download it legally. But if I was supposed to pay for it,
if I should be paying for this,
then give me $10. No, it's not even $10 anymore. How much is it now? Like
I don't
15
know.
bucks.
I haven't been to a movie in years.
Between $10 and $20, depending on where you live, of my money, and you're gonna give me an hour and a half. That's not enough. Give me between $10 and $20 of product. You know what I'm saying?
But that's like your opinion, man. Like, what's $10 or $20 of product? Is that over 2 hours?
Yes.
What's the ratio?
That's between an hour and a half and 2.5 hours. That's the ratio.
2.5 hours is the worst shit that's ever happened to movies. Like,
have you ever seen any Martin Scorsese movie?
Yeah, they're all too long.
They're all bullshit. You love Taxi Driver.
I think Taxi Driver is less than 2 hours.
Just the ending.
Hold up. I'm pretty sure Taxi Driver is less than 2 hours long. Hold up. Let me look it up.
Well, it's one of his first movies, so it might be. Are you looking it up?
What?
Are you looking it up?
Yeah. I'm doing research. This is crazy.
You're like Joe Rogan's sidekick.
Jamie, do you watch Joe Rogan now?
Very occasionally. Only when he has somebody interesting. Which he barely has anybody interesting.
Well,
like every once in a while he'll have like either Neil deGrasse Tyson or freaking what's his name? Joey Diaz. Most of the time it's just his like friends from high school.
He has Joey Diaz on like 1 million episodes, so I don't know. So that's the best.
By the way, how is it possible? Joey Diaz is like 60 years old and he's still telling new stories.
There's actually, Joey Diaz inspired me to tell like, I want to write a story that's kind of like based on the way that he tells stories. Cause like, if I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan and a lot of Joey Diaz's podcasts, it's called The Church of What's Happening Now.
Yeah. Check it out, it's pretty good.
And when you listen to a lot of Joey Diaz, you notice that his stories overlap. Because
really?
So, like, he'll just be telling stories about his childhood. Like, he'll just tell stories about his life, like, every part of his life, you know?
It's like a puzzle. It's like, well, this goes with this. So,
no, but it's just like, he'll tell a story about, like, how he was going to the baseball game with his mom when he was a kid in New York. They took a taxi, but his mom's like, I guess his mom would tell the taxi how to drive. And then if the taxi,
because she's Cuban.
So the taxi driver wasn't listening to her. He's like, "Stop the car, get out of the car." I'm not. And then she like wanted to leave without paying, and he was doing some shit. So then like she called her like her boyfriend at the time or whatever to come and beat the shit out of the cab driver, and then the cops came and they just paid the cops off and nothing happened and that shit, whatever.
Jesus.
But then, like,
Cubans
he told
in
that
the 70s were amazing.
He tells that story, but then he tells another story about, like, doing something with his stepdad, which somehow correlates to this story. But, like, it's in a completely different episode of the podcast. And it's just, like, if you listen to a lot of his shit, you notice that, like, stories that he tells coincide with other stories. And it's just, like, it forms his entire life because, you know, he's telling true stories about his life.
It's all interconnected.
Yeah, but I'm like, that would be interesting to tell a story, like, to write a story about somebody telling stories, but the stories interconnect in weird ways. I mean, I think it's probably been done before, but like, it would be.
Yeah, that sounds like that. Actually reminds me of a topic I have for today, but I'll talk about it later. But I just love Joey D. First of all, anybody who's listening to the podcast, if you want to listen to a different podcast and not listen to ours anymore, listen to The Church of What's Happening Now with Joey Diaz. That is an awesome podcast.
Look up.
Joey Diaz is just talking like a Cuban person in English.
Okay, like American people don't. Really, it's just people who aren't Cuban don't understand this. But I've never seen anybody talk like Joey Diaz in English. He just talks like English. A Cuban. Like in Spanish, I've heard people talk like that my entire life.
They don't.
It's just
the thing is, they don't understand what I'm talking about. What we're talking
I know.
About. If you're a white devil or any other race of people,
but even like other people, like I don't know if like Colombian people would have the same thing.
No, Colombians don't talk like that. This is uniquely. It might be Caribbean, but I think it's very specifically Cuban.
Yeah,
the Cubans will talk to you with a confidence and a
and just be completely bullshitting. But they know
shit.
They're not telling the truth.
But they have No, they don't know if they're telling the truth, but they'll act like they are.
They'll stumble into the truth sometimes. And
they'll talk with a confidence, but with very specific details about it's like, listen, you want to get a good deal? Go from LA to Logan Airport on a Friday on the 24th and the 25th. All right, when you get
oh my god,
ask for Jamie, okay? Jamie will give you extra peanuts.
Trust me, Jamie's always working. He works 24/7. He's always there. Trust me.
You know why? His wife left him. He has nothing else to live for, but he's been promoted every year. He's a good worker. He'll give you extra peanuts. He's a good guy, okay? Don't ask him about his wife, though.
No. But if you're gonna watch The Church of What's Happening Now, look up the episode with Mark Maron, because that's the greatest shit. That's where you're getting the airplane shit from. Because there's he's telling because they both fly a lot, and he's telling Mark Maron, trust me, take this flight, take American Airlines only. Trust me, if you do this, American Airlines this first class. It's $300 round trip. Trust me, I'm serious. And he's like, I don't know. Are you
telling the truth?
I don't know.
I don't know if I should do this.
He's just like, I don't know if that's true or not. And then he's like, no, seriously, I know these things. Look, I got it. Look, I always fly American Airline, always, and this is the price I always pay. Look, I'm serious. I'm telling
it's
you.
Awesome
and then the other guy in there looked it up, and he's like, it's $600. He's like, look, I was close enough. I don't know what you said.
No. It's awesome because what's his name? Mark Maron is just an old school Jewish dude, right? Very stereotypically Jewish, and Joey Diaz is just the most Cuban American born Cuban ever. Like yeah. I'm Cuban, but I don't talk like that.
Yeah.
He's an old school Cuban. This is a dude who came in like when he was 6 in the 70s. He grew up in New York in the 70s. And if you know anything about New York or Cuba or the 70s, that's a tough time to live in, all right? I mean, wasn't his mom like a coke dealer?
No, she did like gambling things.
Oh, yeah. She had a bodega. And
she had a bar, and they would do like,
and she would do la bola.
Or something. Yeah, that.
Which is the lottery for white people.
Oh, I looked up taxi driver.
La bolita. It was la bolita.
I looked at the taxi driver. It's 113 minutes, so less than 2 hours. That's why it's amazing.
That's close enough. See?
2 hours.
An hour and a half and 2.5 hours.
No, I agree with
That's
you.
what makes it a great movie.
Movie should be between an hour and a half and 2 hours. But 2
hours.
No, that's insane. They should be between an hour and a half and 2 hours.
You gotta get your money's worth. You gotta get your money's worth, Luisi. $10 to $20. Listen. If it's 2 hours, fine. I'll give you $15, okay? An hour and a half, I should only give you $10.
But what if it's 2.5 hours?
If it's under an hour and a half, don't even take me to the movies. It's not worth the gasoline, okay?
What if it's just 2.5 hours of pure shit?
Well, at least I got 2.5 hours of time to be killed.
That's
all right. The movies is specifically the kill time.
No, it's. Okay, this is why you watch Big Bang Theory.
Also, if the movie's bad, you can just leave and they'll give you your money back.
I don't know if that's true.
That's very true. You can just leave and say, hey, this is a shitty-ass movie. This is a waste of my money. I want it back.
I want to leave like 5 minutes. I want to leave like 5 minutes before the movie ends and be like, hey, this movie was shitty. Give me my money back.
It's the credits. It's like, the movie's over, dude. No, the credits are still running, and I don't like those credits, okay? I want my money back. I saw like 5 Jewish names, okay?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh, God.
Look, you shouldn't watch movies then. Shouldn't watch movies then if you're afraid of Jewish names.
Oh, God. But if you wanna learn how Jewish people speak, I mean, not Jewish, Cubans speak in Spanish, then listen to Joey Diaz. Because the way he's speaking in English is the way every single person in Cuba speaks in Spanish.
I don't think white people understand this because, they just they speak English. Then they're just like, exactly. What are you talking about? But like, no, it's a certain language, type of thing.
It's not the language.
I know it's the way they talk in the language.
It's the way they're brought up.
So I've been listening to this musician Rosalia, which is she's a Spanish musician.
That sounds familiar.
I told you about her before.
All right.
But she's like a Spanish pop musician. I guess she's pop, but she does like kind of
from Spain or from Spain. Okay.
But she does like experimental pop music with a lot of like flamenco influences and shit. It's really cool.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's from Spain.
Look up the song Malamente when you have a chance. It's really good.
Malamente.
Yeah.
Bad Mind?
Well, it's like malamente. It's like suavemente,
Or
but like
like
malamente.
badly. It means badly. Mm-hmm. All right.
But look,
Is that it? That's all you just want to give me a song request?
No, but like I've been listening to her music and she just speaks Spanish in a different way. It's weird.
Oh, yeah.
Like she they lisp the the S.
Yeah.
So
they have a list, but
like I listened to some
people,
interviews with her in Spanish, and I'm like listening to the Spain people speak Spanish, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah, Spanish is very odd. Also, it mutated a lot from how it was before. Like, you know how they say Old English is closer to American English than British English? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The British accent is something that's fairly new for people who don't know about history.
Yeah, I heard this
The
before.
same thing happened with Spain. Spain's language mutated in Spain a lot through the years. And in the New World, it didn't stay the same. Spanish has mutated so differently. Like, if you get somebody from Mexico and somebody from Argentina, they'll barely understand each other.
But yeah, but like I experienced it firsthand. I think because like white people who try to learn Spanish, or I guess anybody who tries to learn Spanish, always says like, "Oh, you talk too fast" or something.
Yeah,
and I'm like, well,
that's a very Caribbean thing. Caribbeans tend to speak fast.
But like I'm used to like Cuban people speaking Spanish fast, and I know how that sounds. I know how to understand that. But I listened to her interviews with her in Spanish from Spain, and they're talking so insanely fast, and I'm like, I can barely keep up with it. And I'm like, it's because the accent. I think it's like I can't keep up with it.
Well, the thing is, like, when you grow up, like, when I listen to Mexicans, they speak a lot slower, and they're almost like singing when they speak. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Not in a something way. Like, they have a lot of highs and a lot of lows in their vocal cords, and it's actually pretty nice. I like their accent, but they're very slow, so it's hard for me to keep up. Because my mind is working faster than you know what I'm saying? Cubans, I'm on the track, so they're speaking fast. I'm getting every single word, right?
Yeah.
But with Mexican Spanish, I'm like, I'm already ahead of what you're saying. I'm waiting for you. All right? You know what I mean? It's like a track skipping. But I don't like Spanish because, first of all, the lisp is annoying.
It is.
I have a lisp. I hate my own lisp. It's horrible. I don't want to live in a country where everybody's lisping.
Also, but it would make you feel like home, wouldn't it? It'd be like, oh my god, my other people.
No, I feel like they're inferior.
Or like every time they do it, it's like, were you making fun of me? What?
Exactly, that's what it feels like.
It would be funny if Spain was filled with really insecure people, and they're just like every time they talk to each other, you making fun of my lips, and they're like, you making fun of my lips.
Do you know the history of the Spanish lisp?
There was a king who lisped, so they all did it out of courtesy, I guess.
Thank you that was a good 2 minutes of podcast time that you ruined. All right.
That sounds like a retarded story. Like, it
was a king that they really liked. So I
don't think that's true. Like, you can't have an entire country.
That's the story.
You can't have an entire country decide to speak differently at the same time.
No, Lacey, that's exactly what happened in England. Their accent is purposeful. The Queen of England wanted England to be more fancy,
and everybody agreed.
She wrote books. I don't know which queen it was, but she wrote books. It's like, this is how you should speak. Like the A sound, the ah. She's like, it should be a softer ah, like a soft O.
Okay, so it mutated over like a century, probably.
She wrote a book. It's like this, and then it stuck with the rich people. It's like, well, the queen wants us to, do this, so we're gonna do it. And when it went from the rich to the poor, and now the entire country does it.
But that process probably took like 100.
Sounds like their IQ is 20 points higher than what it actually is.
But
just because they went from ah to ah.
But that process probably took like 100 years.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that much about.
Well,
British
to have
history.
Everybody, just the whole population of a country, to adopt an accent, you can't do that.
It probably took a couple generations. It couldn't have been from one day to the next. I mean, that's impossible.
You know what I was thinking about today? The movie.
I want to keep talking about accents.
Hold up, but I was just thinking about the movie Circumcise Me today.
That was a shitty movie.
It was. Because listen to me. Like, this was like, this was like a revolutionary, not revolutionary,
Yeah.
but it was like a huge movie or whatever. And
The
like,
idea in itself is stupid.
but it's just like, what's gonna happen if I eat nothing but unhealthy food for a month? You'll be unhealthy. Is that a surprise? Who thinks McDonald's is healthy? What? Why was this movie
like,
shocking?
It's not so shocking at all. It's like, did you know that McDonald's is not good for you? Thank you. We needed a whole documentary about it. I mean, even the premise is like, I'm going to eat McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 30 days. Then you're going to die. Everybody knows in the country knows that you're going to die. Frankly, the fact that you lasted 30 days and still lived is a promotion for McDonald's. It's good for McDonald's.
So I feel like that movie,
McDonald's is not as deadly as you thought.
Like, but I don't know. Are people actually stupid? Like, I don't know if they are or not.
Also, who has the money to go to McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day?
You know, I'm surprised.
Also, if you're going to McDonald's for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, maybe you don't deserve to live. Like, maybe you make bad choices.
Probably.
Maybe
I'm surprised how many people
lives
just
in a
buy.
trailer.
I'm surprised.
That's a big waste of money too.
Yeah, it is.
Like, just cook. That's cheaper. Get some vegetables. Get some like those cheap chicken strips that you know that are frozen. Cook that up. It's cheaper. It's healthier. Jesus, that was a shitty, pointless movie.
But like, why was it so big? Because I don't know. This is something like that really I was thinking about a lot during the election, 2016 election.
You were thinking about McDonald's during the election?
No, it's just like, are people stupid or
yes.
not? Like, but
people
they're
are very stupid.
Because I want to think that they're not, but then they do stupid things and they believe stupid things, and I'm like,
well, we just had an election, and I don't want to talk about the election. We'll talk about the election in like a couple minutes.
Deeper into that, because I'm just like, why was this movie a thing? Why was it a thing? Period. Like, I don't understand why it was like a phenomenon.
I honestly.
Because did people seriously just not know?
Lucy,
did they just not?
Check what year it was out. Check what year it was out.
Super research time.
Yeah, I mean, when we get bigger, I'm gonna be the main podcaster, and you're gonna be to the side, just checking every single question I ask.
But just like screaming at you. 2004.
2004. So that's like what, 16 years? In 2004, I was 12.
I was 10.
I was 12. I was 12 in 2004. So maybe nobody knew because I wasn't that self-aware when I was 12.
Danny,
so
Danny,
I don't know what was going on around the world in 2004.
Do you think everybody in 2004 was 12 years old? What do you?
No, I'm saying,
Danny, your argument.
I don't know what was happening in 2004.
Okay,
see, I don't know. I wasn't up to date with current events. Maybe people didn't know it was that bad.
Your argument sounded like, well, at 12 I didn't know anything, so I guess since everybody else is also 12.
I'm saying, so maybe back then, you know, the general population didn't really think about how bad McDonald's was.
I don't know.
McDonald's
I don't think
sucky food. It's just shitty food.
I haven't eaten McDonald's. I think I actually ate a McDonald's like 2 months ago, but I don't eat fast food anymore. But I think it's really this. I don't think people are stupid. I just think it's that they don't think about anything. But that's most people. Like, I think most people
like have to think about whether McDonald's is healthy or not. They know it's not healthy, but
no. But this is the thing. You can ignore it.
It's 12 o'clock at night. They're hungry. You know, they don't want to cook anything. They're driving home. They see McDonald's. They pick up some McDonald's. You know, it's not gonna.
But this is the thing. Like, I think people ignore shit to such a degree that they don't know that it's bad for you because they just ignore it so much. Like, deep down, they know it's bad. But they ignored it their entire life so much that they've tricked themselves into thinking it's not bad. Because they're just like, this is just what I do. Like, I'm not thinking of... So, like, that's how, like, drug addicts happen, I think, and shit like that. Because it's like... But I think that's the one thing. People aren't stupid. They just don't think about shit. That's why you need to start...
I don't know about them...
But that's why...
about them tricking themselves. But I do agree, like, they just don't think about it that much. Like, it's not... They're not focusing on their health because they probably have bigger issues at the time. You know what I mean?
This is the thing. Like, this is why meditation and shit is important, things like that.
Oh.
No, listen to me.
Any excuse to talk about Buddhism. Just be a Buddhist.
Meditation is not only Buddhist. Look,
Are you becoming a Buddhist?
I don't even meditate regularly. At least I do sometimes, but like, but I'm saying you got to think about what you do. Like, this is the reason why I became a vegetarian and shit, because I don't care about animals at all. You can kill every animal in front of me. I don't give a shit. But like,
I care a little bit, you know.
I care even less than that.
Like,
but it was just
make your point. Make your
it
point.
was just one time. I think it was like 4 years ago at this point. That it's just like, I was in a class in college, and the professor, it was extra credit that if you became a vegetarian for a week and wrote about it to give you extra credit.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I did that.
I wasn't in the class. He told me about it.
Yeah, so I did that, and it just made me like the first day I realized, like, so wait a minute, you don't have to eat meat. And like, of course I know that you don't. Of course I knew that you don't have to eat meat, but I never thought about it.
The problem,
and I'm just like, you don't.
A big problem is that you have to adjust a big part of your life.
But listen to me. It's the thing is, like, you don't have to. Like, if you grow up eating, no, I mean eat meat. I'm saying, like,
well, yeah,
if you grow up, but listen to me. If you grow up your entire life eating meat, and you don't question it, you just do that your entire life. You're just like, that's food, that you have to eat it. But like, you don't say you have to eat, but like, it's a subconscious thing. It's like, that's what food is. I need to eat it. And if you don't ever question it, you're just like, that's just what you need to eat. It's food. But like, if you just really think like, you don't need to eat that. It's 100% optional, as is everything you do in life is a choice. You're choosing to eat meat every time you do it. Like, it's not.
Well, not everything's a choice.
Yes, everything's a choice.
You can't be a carnivore.
Yeah, you can. People are on carnivore diets. It's
really?
a thing. Yeah.
And they'll die, right?
It's vegetables. Mixed. It's mixed. It's the mixed effects.
Well, the whole idea of everything's a choice is just, that assumes that you're okay with dying in some cases.
But that would be your choice, wouldn't it?
I know, but like, let's assume that the dying is what you're trying to avoid. So there are some things that you can't choose. You know what I mean?
Well, no, but it's like, you're choosing, but it's like, it's just the mentality of like, you need to know that everything you're doing, you're choosing to do that. So like, if you're complaining about something, just know it's your choice that you're doing that, and you can stop.
You should write just a self-help book.
But this is just like how
because you're just regurgitating things that every self-help book.
Is that a self-help thing?
I'm sure.
But this is the thing. It's not. I don't know. I'm not saying it in like a self-help way. This is just something that I've learned that like everything is your choice. Like, people are too unconscious going through life. Everybody just does what they do and they don't think about it. But you need to think about what you do. You need to think about every choice you make, every minuscule choice you make at least once, and be like, why am I doing this? Why am I choosing to do this way?
Everything is a choice, that's true, but you gotta understand that some choices for some people are harder than other choices. So you can say, hey, just stop eating meat. But for some people, that's gonna be extremely difficult. For other people like you, it's gonna be fairly easy. It was easy for you to stop eating meat, right?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
I mean, it wasn't the easiest thing in the world, but it was pretty easy.
Yeah,
there are other people who are very dependent on meat who, just like, if you told them stop eating meat right now, they wouldn't know what to do with themselves. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't know what to eat at first and shit, but I just look it up.
Everything is a choice, but you can't act like everything has the same effect on everybody, and every choice is equal in difficulty or easiness.
I'm not saying that, but I think just like knowing,
because it's easy to say everything's a choice, but some choices are harder than others. That's just a given. You know what I mean?
I guess, yeah, but like I'm just saying something that helped me.
Like, it's like saying, like, you can't tell a crackhead, he's like, listen, crack is a choice. I mean, yeah, but it's not
well, that's what they tell. That's what they tell people in like AA and stuff. When they're saying
does that
like,
work?
No, but I'm saying like, the phrase like, I'm just living one day at a time or whatever.
Yeah, it's a choice. Yeah,
but that's basically just saying, today I made the choice not to do drugs. Hopefully tomorrow I'll make the choice again not to do it.
I know, but I'm saying that choice isn't an easy one. So
well, what's
you can
that
say,
saying?
Like, it's just a choice, but that's that guy has to tell himself, I'm not gonna use crack.
But this is the thing.
You know how horrible my life would be if I said, today I am going to breathe. If breathing was that laborsome that I had to hype myself up to not breathe.
But that's what meditation.
I'd probably just die.
But that's what meditation is. This is the thing. When look, I'm trying to organize my thoughts. It's just like when a crackhead was doing crack, he wasn't making a choice. I mean, he was making the choice to do crack, but in his head, he wasn't making that choice. He wasn't consciously making that. It was an unconscious choice. He was letting
his body make the choice.
It was an unconscious choice. Every choice you make should be a conscious choice. You shouldn't...
You have to be extremely in the moment at all times to be like that.
You know what I mean when I say every, not like literally every breath you take.
I know, but even...
But the problem is like... when people switch lifestyles, is that they're switching from making unconscious choices to conscious choices. Because when you're doing things like when you're a drug addict, you have to consciously think to not do drugs because your normal state is to do drugs. And then you have to consciously say, I'm not going to do it. But even if it's something you do want to do and that's good for you, you should be saying like, I'm choosing to do this. Like at least once in your life to be like, this is something. You shouldn't go your whole life eating meat. You can choose to eat meat if you want, doesn't matter. But you should go one time being, I'm choosing to do this. You should know that when you're eating meat, you're choosing to kill animals.
That's a sentiment that's very common in many different religions. Just the idea of choosing not to do something, to give something up, like Lent for Catholics, fasting for Christians. What's the Muslim one? Ramadan. I'm sure Buddhists have something. What do Buddhists have?
I'm not a Buddhist. I don't know.
It's a very spiritual idea to give up something. You know, Christians, I don't know about any other religion, but because I'm a Christian, but Christians do it for spiritual awareness, you know, to be more enlightened spiritually, because you're giving up something worldly. So you have to take, when you give up something worldly, like, I don't know, like food, because that's what I mean. You give up something worldly for food for every day, you know? So you can only eat in the morning and at night. So all of that time in the middle, the time that you would be eating is empty now. So what are you going to fill that with? Spirituality. You know, spiritual, you know, what's it called? Spiritual meditation, prayer, you know, studying the Bible. That way you'll be more spiritually enlightened. That's the point of fasting. For Christians, I don't know about any other religion. So it's a conscious choice you're making to get closer to God by giving up something. It's a very spiritual sentiment you have, Lucy.
Thank you. I invented it.
You invented spirituality?
Yeah.
Or fasting?
Look it up in the Bible. My name's in there.
Lucy, stop. You gotta stop.
What?
Jesus. I like the idea of that, but it's extremely hard to just give something up because I'm 25 years old. So everything I've done has pretty much been the same for the last 25 years.
You're 26.
Oh my God, I'm 26. I am. I'm like halfway through 26 too. I got like, I thought I was 25 for like 6 months.
Well, you're
so
not.
For the last 26 years, my life has been pretty much very routine. So if I, just giving something up isn't as easy because that's 26 years of, doing the same thing.
Well, yeah, but your routine should be a routine that you chose. It shouldn't be one that just that you fell into. It shouldn't be an unconscious choice.
My routine has morphed into my needs, into what what has to happen.
But this is the thing. I understand that people say it's hard and shit, but it's not hard once you know you're making the choice.
I'm just saying it's very disrupting to make, a choice that alters your life in a big way. Even something small can alter your life in a big way, like becoming a vegetarian. I have, if I was to become a vegetarian, I have, $50 worth of meat in my refrigerator. You know what I mean?
Okay, so get rid of it. If I was
to become that's $50 gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big, for me, economically, $50 is a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so make the choice next time you go shopping to not buy meat.
Well, there you go. Then I have to plan for for a life changing event now. I'm saying in the future,
But
I'm going to incrementally change my life.
Yeah, but everything changes your life. Every choice you make would change your life because it's different from
But
what
I'm
you're
just
doing.
saying something as small as I'm not going to eat any meat. I have to plan for that. I have to get prepared for that change.
Because you're
Something,
switching
a small change.
Because you're switching from unconsciousness to consciousness. That's the thing. That's the difference. Because when you say it's like a small choice, but the thing is like it's a small choice, but you're switching from making no choices to making any choices. So you're not making any conscious choices, but then you switch to making one conscious choice, and then you have to think about everything else you're doing because.
But the difficulty of just
that's a
making
good thing.
that choice.
That's a good thing.
Like it is a good thing, but I mean things just because it's a good thing because it's a good thing means that it's going to be even more difficult. I think any good decision is effectively harder than a bad decision.
I'm not even saying good decision versus bad decision. I'm saying it's a good thing to make a decision. Any decision.
That's just stupid. Because
as long as you're thinking about it and you're making that decision and you're making a conscious choice to do something, it's a good thing.
A conscious choice to take heroin is a good thing.
It's a good thing that you thought about it.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
No, this is the thing. If you just end up doing heroin because you like fell into it and shit or whatever, if somebody offered you heroin, you're like, yeah, whatever, I'll do that. That's not a decision. That's not a conscious choice. At least you're just like, whatever.
Somebody listens to the podcast, basically. Somebody listens to this podcast and listens to you say you have to make a conscious decision, and he meditates on that and he says, I'm gonna go out. I'm going to get $200 out of my bank account. I'm going to find a drug dealer, and I'm going to get $200 worth of heroin. Is that a lot for heroin? Is $200
I don't know how much heroin is worth, but I'm saying, that's
a good decision.
If he meditated on it, and he really thought about it, and somehow he came to the conclusion that he needs to do that, he made a good choice.
You're an idiot. That is a bad choice. Oh, God. Now we're getting back into philosophy. There are objective truths. Okay? But
you don't know anything about his life. You don't understand why he made that choice. It's good. If he actually thought about it and somehow came to the conclusion that that's what's best for him to do, I mean, everybody else can say, you're an idiot and you're insane. But that's the choice he came to, and he made a choice. That's a good thing.
I gotta... Okay, let me ask you a question. All right. In the same realm, do you think that I personally believe drugs are for weak people, so for people who like try to escape their reality with some drugs to make them forget about things. Do you think do you agree with me, or do you believe that drugs have something that's good for society or for individuals, or have some benefits that are beyond, forgetting their reality or their problems?
It's just the things that people like to do. I mean, some drugs have medicinal values, and then
I know drugs. Yeah. If you wanna take drugs because it's fun and whatever, fine, that's fine. But I personally believe that the fun you're getting is just forgetting your problems.
But that's any fun. You can't say like any fun that people have most of the time is just people forgetting their problems for a bit. Playing a video game is just being wrapped in the video game for how long you do it and not thinking about the rest of the world. Same thing with a movie. Same thing with anything else.
Yeah, but like with movies or with games, you're not chemically changing your mind.
Why does that matter? Because and you are chemically changing your mind. When you play video games, they're specifically designed to like release dopamine in your head and shit and like affect your brain. They're not.
So are you saying that there's no weakness in drugs, or there's weakness in everything?
If I was gonna use that language, I'd say there's weakness in everything. Then
there's probably a better word than weakness, but I can't think of it right now.
I'm saying anything can be bad for you. Right?
Yeah, but I'm not talking about bad. I'm talking about... okay, how about this? do you believe you can gain any spiritual enlightenment or any spiritual benefit from drugs?
Sure.
How about that?
Sure, why not?
I don't think so. I think it's a fake. Well, then again, I have a different mindset on faith than you, but I don't know.
Gain spiritual enlightenment from anything.
It feels like a cheat. It feels like you're cheating life. You know?
That's your opinion, but people can do whatever they want, and if they made the choice to do it and it's not hurting anything, it doesn't matter.
Oh, you are the biggest hippie in the world.
I am. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, getting back into vegetarianism, do you have any what's it called? Advice for somebody who wants to become a vegetarian? Somebody like me, I got $50 of meat worth in my refrigerator, and I made the conscious decision today. I am going to stop eating meat. What do I do with the $50 worth of meat? What do I buy from now on? What's a good middle ground that an easy adjustment food?
I don't know.
Really? You've been a vegetarian for 4 years.
All I did was I tried to find other sources of protein. I'm probably deficient in something because I don't know. I didn't try that hard.
You did lose a crazy amount of weight, almost immediately.
I lost 20 pounds in a week, but
that is a scary amount of weight to lose.
Yeah, and then I started working out and shit. But
I didn't even when I lose weight. I lose weight in a very specific way where I still look kind of buff. Mm-hmm. When you lost that meat weight, you got skinny, arms, face skinny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I did. It was. You crazy.
Got I there were points where I lost a large amount of weights, and I still had a buff fatigue. A figure, whatever. You lost weight, and it's a completely different person in a week. It was crazy.
Well, I'll just the sources of protein I get now is a lot of eggs, beans, tofu, peanuts I eat a lot. So I eat a lot of that shit. I eat salad for lunch every day. I eat the same meals every day. So I don't know.
What do you for me, the big problem is dinner because I need the meat portion there. So what do you do for that? What do you do for dinner?
For dinner, I'll eat beans and vegetables, or I'll eat...
Yeah, but you need beans, vegetables, and something.
No, you don't.
So you just eat the beans and the vegetables?
I eat beans and vegetables, or I eat tofu and vegetables, or I'll eat... How
about rice?
I'm trying to be low carb. But if you're not trying to be low carb, you can eat rice. And that's what I did for a long time. I just ate rice and beans for dinner. Brown rice. Brown rice is better.
Oh. Brown rice sucks. It's disgusting.
But I'm trying to be low carb, so I stopped eating.
By the way,
you know what was harder for me than going vegetarian was being low carb, because that's bread and rice, which is almost exclusively what I ate for most of my life. Being vegetarian is hard enough. If you're vegetarian and low carb, you're just gonna die. But I feel better than I've ever felt before.
I believe you, but you can't even eat a potato.
I mean, you can eat anything you want your entire life.
If you're sticking to low carb, you can't have a potato.
Yo, you can't. But this is the thing. Most of my time...
Stop with the choices, Lucy.
But it is. But this is why I don't like...
low carb, you can't have potatoes. You can't have... I don't think you can have beans. But can you have beans?
Beans are not necessarily low carb. But the thing is
medium carb?
Well... I guess it would be medium carb if you're going to do it. But they have a fair amount of carbs, but a lot of that is fiber. And you can, when you do low carb shit, you cut fiber out of that, and then it gets lower. Because fiber, I don't know why, some kind of science, but fiber neutralizes basically, and then it's not really a carb.
That's too scientific for me.
I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I know that
you're probably the shittiest vegetarian anyways. You will cheat at least once a month.
Yeah. Because I don't care about animals. I'm not doing it for that. It's for myself. And this is the thing, I don't like cheat days as a concept because it's just allowing yourself to slip back into unconsciousness. Every time,
oh my God.
Every time that you
are creating your own religion.
Just consciousness, man. But like,
in like 2 years, you're gonna have a following.
sure, I want to be on Joe Rogan and fucking talk to him about this shit. But like, but this is what I'm saying. Cheat days are one version of unconsciousness because you have your
diet. With unconscious.
You have your diet, but then it's just like, oh, this one day a week I can eat whatever I want without thinking about it. No, you can eat whatever you want your entire life, but think about it. If you want to eat McDonald's, make the choice to eat McDonald's and then take all the repercussions for it. Because what a cheat day is basically letting you do is eat McDonald's and then feel fine about it because it's like, oh, it's my cheat day. It doesn't matter. It does matter. You still ate bad. You can choose to eat bad, but know that's what you're doing. Choose to do it and then live with the repercussions of it.
I didn't listen. I'm kidding. I did listen. Listen, I understand what you're saying, Luisi, but just stop it with the choices and unconsciousness and consciousness and all that. Jesus.
I'm just saying that's what's worked for me. This is what I see a lot in the world, is that people are, on the whole, making unconscious choices and unconscious decisions and living through life unconsciously, and they have a lack of conscious choices and decisions, and they don't have a lot of discipline to when they make any decisions to stick to it, because it's just how a lot of people are, I guess.
Yeah.
So really, you need discipline, which is also what being a vegetarian gave me, because I gave myself just an arbitrary rule that I had to follow. And as long as I kept following that, it gave me discipline, because I'm like, I can do this. I can set myself a rule and follow it.
I think what you're saying is people need religion.
If that's what you get from that, cool.
Can you have an opinion about my comment?
Sure, anything's a religion. It's just you can do whatever you want.
But I'm saying, like, mankind has a predilection.
I have a problem with religion because there's also to a lot of people, there's an aspect of unconsciousness to that too, because if you're born Christian and you just spend your whole life Christian without questioning it at all, and while I'm not saying that's what you did or what anybody else did, I'm saying a lot of Americans do, a lot of people in general do this. They're just born Christian, they stay Christian, and they don't question it ever, and they're just like, that's just what I was because that's how I was raised. You should think about it, ever. And if you think about it and then choose to stay Christian, then it's your choice to be Christian, that's fine. But
I completely understand what you're saying, but I feel like a lot of non-religious people make that choice. It's like a lot of non-religious people say, it's like, so let me guess, so you were just born in the right religion. Well, first of all, I can't speak for any other religion because I'm only one. I only have one. But as far as Christianity goes, a gigantic portion of Christians are people who made conscious choices.
Well, because the point of the religion is to convert everybody to be your religion.
Yeah, and like you yourself, when you went to church, you can say like half of the church were not Christians and then became Christians, or were not religious and made an active choice to become more spiritual.
Yeah. But so, I don't know.
I don't like that argument because
I think, Danny, but to be fair, we went to different type of Christian church than a lot of people.
No, but I'm saying like I can
Danny, evangelical churches and shit is way different from a lot of other churches.
I don't consider myself evangelical.
Would you agree that the churches that we went to were?
I guess more Pentecostal.
This is the same thing.
No, there's differences.
Okay, but I'm saying most churches, I don't think, like, falling down at the end of everything, speaking in tongues. Can you hear me?
Luisi?
Can you hear me?
You lost me. Luisi?
Hello?
Luisi?
Hello? Okay, I don't think most churches in America have people, like, falling down and speaking in tongues and shit and catching the spirit every single time. And like for the mass thing, that was specifically the churches that. No, but listen to me. That was the type of churches we went to, and.
Well, I can't listen. I can't speak for Methodist or Presbyterian or whatever other denominations there are. But as far as my form of Christianity, non-denominational or Pentecostal or evangelical Christians, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of conversion. There's a lot of conscious choice making to become that.
Yeah, but that's
religion,
specifically your
faith,
sect
whatever
of
you want to call it.
Christianity. You understand? There's a lot of other. Well, yeah,
But
in
that's a
America,
big sect
in the
now.
American
That's
South
a gigantic
specifically,
sect.
there's a lot of that shit. But like,
Yeah,
but
Latin
like,
America.
I'm saying there's also. I went to a Alex. What kind of church was it that I went to that one time with all the white people? Presbyterian church I went to, and that's basically just Catholics, and like they're not doing any of that shit that I was used to.
No, we're not. We're very far away from
They're very
What are you saying
methodical.
we for? You're not Christian.
the church I was baptized into.
Okay, it doesn't matter, but I'm saying
We
like,
don't talk in snake form.
look, I'm trying to record a show.
Listen, I can't speak for Presbyterians because I'm not Presbyterian, but I don't know how spiritual
From what I
Presbyterians
experienced,
are.
it's just people.
But,
it's basically Catholicism, but like without as much. It's like the most middle ground shit that you could find ever.
I feel like a lot of denominations in Christianity have become just like have lost all their spirituality. You know what I mean? Like Methodists, Baptists not as much, but Methodists, Presbyterians, they just like my family's been Baptist for the last 60 years.
But that was my
that's
point,
what
and
I
I'm
am.
like, I'm
You know
not
what
trying
I
to
mean?
make a point about like whether you should be Christian or you shouldn't, or any religion. I don't care what religion you are; it doesn't matter. But
But what I'm saying is, Lucy, at least my form of Christianity, my denomination, which by the way I consider myself non-denominational Christian, because why would I pick somebody else's idea of interpretation
That's what I'm
of the
saying.
Bible? So I'm non-denominational. But my wife considers herself Pentecostal, and for the most part, we've been to Pentecostal churches. There's a lot. That's a big a lot of them, most of them, are there for conscious decision making, conscious choices they're making to become more spiritual, have a closer relationship to God, and so it's not the same thing as I was born in this religion, because almost the minority of them were born as Pentecostal.
But this is the thing.
It's a fairly new religion.
What I find is the danger of organized religion is that it changes from consciousness to unconsciousness, because when that's the thing. If you're born run religion, no matter what the religion is,
if your religion becomes a tradition,
well, no, every religion has traditions or whatever, but you should know why you're doing them. If you're doing a tradition without knowing why you're doing it, that's a bad thing. Because you should know why you're doing everything you're doing.
Talking about religion and traditions, let's talk about a controversial topic to end the show. I did not cover not one of my topics today, but I circumcised my new baby.
What?
Right? You want to hear the crazy part?
Did the rabbi drink the blood?
My new boy.
You know, rabbis do that. Some of them, I guess. That was like an old Jewish tradition. Is for the rabbi to like suck the blood.
That is the weirdest.
Came out of circumcision.
Nowhere. First of all, the guy who circumcised my baby was a Muslim, and
Who's getting circumcised?
yeah, he was a Muslim doctor.
baby.
His name was Mohammed Tabah.
Because they chose to. Alex, I'm doing a show. Either be on the mic or don't. Don't just scream at me about shit. She can't hear you.
Do you want to be on the show, Alex?
Alex, do you want to be on the show?
Ask her she wants to be on the show.
She said no.
Then stop talking.
Cereal.
For Alex's question, I decided to circumcise my baby for 2 reasons. I made a conscious decision, along with my wife, I made the choice to circumcise my baby with my wife for 2 reasons. One, this is America, and that's the tradition, you know? So when he grows up and he has a girlfriend, you know, the girlfriend's not going to get freaked out by his dick. I mean, is that a weird decision to make like that?
You made the decision, whatever.
Also, I misspoke when his wife, because I'm Christian, so when he gets married and his wife sees his dick, he's not she's not gonna get freaked out. But second choice, from what I read and from from all the research I've done, which is a surprising amount. I think I did more research than any average person should do about circumcision, but it is actually cleaner, and there are the what's it called? The benefits do outweigh the risks.
But that's the thing. So you made the choice.
I think I saw a statistic that 50% of all uncircumcised kids go to the hospital for a penis related issue.
There was a big movement, because I don't know if it's a big movement, but there's like a sect of people that are just like, you shouldn't what's the word? Circumcise. I was gonna say castrate. I'm like, you definitely shouldn't castrate your kids.
Jesus, you shouldn't. But, you should not castrate.
There's people who say like you shouldn't circumcise your kids because it's bad for you and shit or whatever. It's like, well, yeah, I guess there's some benefits to being uncircumcised, but I think people circumcise people for a reason. Like, it's not like they did it for no reason at all.
It is just cleaner, because their argument to it's cleaner is that it's just one extra step in the cleaning process. You have to
you got to pull it back, whatever. And that's what I was thinking.
And you have to wash it.
It's not that much more, so it can't be that. But like it is, but it does get infected.
It's not that
like
much
50,
more,
like you said, like whatever, 50% or something.
Yeah, 50% of children go to the hospital for that reason. And so it is an extra step. And so it's just easier to, cut off that little bit of extra skin. And then, it's easier to clean.
It is like technically
better.
What I mean? But
so yeah, and my wife's nephew. My wife's nephew, who lives in Cuba. In Cuba, they don't circumcise at all. I don't know why. Latin America doesn't circumcise at all. I don't know why we circumcise our kids.
It might be that the quote unquote globalists, which is conspiracy code for Jews.
Oh, globalists. If they're
that's
Jews,
what I'm saying.
Would
it's a joke. Globalists, which is conspiracy, secret talk for Jews. But
okay, so in Cuba, they don't circumcise their kids. And so my wife's nephew, who's living in Cuba, he got an infection, and his I'm sorry again to get graphic, but his dick closed up, like it wouldn't open, right? So they had to circumcise him. So yeah, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just an easier, it's safer. It's just something you don't have to think about. But you know what I mean? So also,
thinking about it.
It's bad, whatever, but. Also, it's not that big of a deal. Like, the crazy part is when the day after my kid became circumcised, I was driving somewhere, I think to Walmart, and there was a giant protest in my town to not circumcise.
You should have waved your baby in front of him and been like, "Look at this shit. Look at it. Be outraged."
I was like 2 seconds away from rolling down my windows.
I just did it.
You guys should have been here yesterday. But it was like a good between 20 and 30 people.
Town.
Like, it was a sizable protest, and I live in a small town, right? And I like what they did. They were all wearing white, and in their crotch area they had red stains, like red blood stains. And I was like, okay, that's clever. That's clever. But I really don't buy it.
Probably the same people that say don't vaccinate your kids or whatever.
You know what I actually wanted to tell them? The protest, I wanted to get out of my car and tell them, like, dude, we're like a week away.
Dude, yeah,
this is the most important thing. Is this really what you want to fight about right now? We are like one blink away from losing our democracy, and you're worrying about circumcision. This is the fight you want to do.
We should get Andrew on for the next podcast, and we could do like a politics one after the election. That would be good.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk about politics today, with you, but it would be good to talk with Andrew about it because he actually cares. But okay, guys, thanks for listening.
I also wanted to talk about movies.
We're at an hour. I'm done.
Can I close out?
Okay.
I'm closing.
Okay.
Let me close the show, man. It's my show. All right, guys. So we gotta find a good name for this. I want something in the title.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Buddhist circumcision.
No.
No?
The conscious The conscious choice to
conscious
circumcise. That's the name.
Jesus, Circumcise. Yeah, something like that. It'll be something like that. All right, guys. So this has been the Friday show. We hope you liked it. We hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll be back next Friday, and we're more precise, consistent. We'll make the active choice to be more consistent on the show. So follow us on 3_gorillas at Twitter. Spell out the whole thing, the 3. Follow us on 3 Gorillas Entertainment at Facebook and 3 Gorillas Entertainment at YouTube to watch. We got some videos on YouTube. Follow us on, if you want to write us, you can write to our email, 3gorillasentertainment@gmail. Talk with us, ask us questions. If you have a topic you want us to talk about, you can write us on any of the platforms, and we'll talk about it on the Friday show. All right, guys. Tell your friends about us. Tell your neighbors. Tell Randy Gonzalez.
Thanks for listening, bitches.
What's happening right now?
Okay. I don't know. She's insane.
What is that?
Thanks for listening, guys. Buy stamps. Goodbye.
All right, we love you. Cue the music. Bye, stamps. Bye.